Bridge Rail Foundation was created in 2005. Its purpose and intent is to stop the suicides on the bridge by changing the railing or getting the net under.
We felt that it would be useful to the cause to have a broader-based nonprofit volunteer effort to put a suicide deterrent system on that bridge.
It's not just the people who are dying. It's all those people who watched it. It's worthwhile to do this to preserve life for the people who are jumping, but it's worthwhile also to preserve the emotional life of the people who are also involved in this. The families as well. And you know, if it stops one suicide, it's one human life. It's worth it.
It's an absolutely beautiful structure in an absolutely gorgeous setting. It's just perfect. It cannot be denied. But what can equally not be denied is that it's deadly. And the deadly part we can fix. The beautiful part we endorse. We want more.
It just has the power. You stand on the bridge and it vibrates with such a frequency of traffic and the energy being transported back and forth between the land masses that you feel that energy and you understand why people are drawn there to take their lives.
Well, opposition to any barrier on the bridge is aesthetics, the safety of the bridge. So they had to do wind tunnel studies to find out what designs would be safe to put on the bridge so it wouldn't be structurally impaired. Yeah. And it was safety for the workers.
Yes.
I mean, if they put up a higher railing, the workers would have to use more tie-offs. It would take longer time to do routine repairs.
Part of the argument is the free will argument. Why should we spend money to abridge someone's free will?
Then it goes back to the issue of suicide and the stigma. Is I'm not going to spend money on these people. They want to die. I'm not going to stop them from dying. It's their choice. No, it's not really a choice. You know, then that's how they make it sound. You know, they want to kill themselves, go ahead. But they really don't want to kill themselves. They just want to feel better.
For some people, it may be their last sense of control over something in their life. And so part of the work of working with someone who's suicidal is to open up those choices so that they don't feel like that's the only one they have available to make.
Over the 75 years, as all the other methods of suicide decrease in San Francisco, there's only one method that continues to increase every decade, and that is jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge.
The first important piece of evidence in the public realm regarding the Golden Gate Bridge and suicides was Dr. Richard Seiden's article, in which he and his class followed 500 people who had been prevented from jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge for a period of 26 years. And he found that 94% of those who had been prevented from taking their lives lived out a normal lifespan or died of natural causes. 6% did go on and kill themselves. I mean, many people say, oh, they'll just go somewhere else and kill themselves. That's part of the old understanding of suicide. Yes, some people do go on and kill themselves, but it's a distinct minority, 6%, a great majority of people who are prevented from taking their lives do not subsequently kill themselves.
We don't talk that much about mental illness and brain diseases, and we don't talk about suicide and how to stop it, how easy it is to stop it. And the biggest way to stop it is give people time. And that's why you want a net or a barrier on the bridge to give people that time.
On the day that Donovan died, it was a really nice February day. Candy got home, and I couldn't even meet her at the door. I waited till she came around into the office, and she looked at me and she knew. And I just told her he was gone. And I have never heard in my life the wailing, the sound of her pain. It was chilling. It broke my heart even more. It was like I'd never heard pain like that. There was nothing I could do, and we couldn't comfort each other. We didn't want anything to do with each other.
The trauma of suicide that it leaves behind on the families. We were recently contacted by the family of the 500th victim. And even after 40 years, they're still suffering and they still miss their brother. It's never ending, and it needs to end, and it won't end if we don't talk about it.
There is a taboo of for suicide, and that's historical. If you say, I had somebody who committed suicide, the room goes silent.
Hey, it's Matt. I'm either in class, at work, or I'm out running. So if you just leave me a message, I'll get back to you.
Matthew was fun, vivacious, witty, very energetic, but he got diagnosed early with schizoaffective disorder, which is schizophrenia with a mood disorder, at the age of 12, following his first suicide attempt.
You wouldn't have known. From the outside? No, he's going to school. He's working. He's looking forward to the future. Why would you doubt anything?
Yeah.
Kathy was, she was 26. She was a junior at UC Santa Cruz, and she was doing well. She was getting A's and B's. She was a lovely young woman, and she was smart. She also had a long history of depression. So she had a bad week, apparently, and paid her rent at the apartment for 6 months. She paid her car insurance for 6 months. She filled up the tank. And she drove to the Golden Gate Bridge. And she jumped.
When you've gone through something like this, it feels like you're the only one who's ever gone through it. And having a group of people who really understand all the gamut of emotions that you're going to go through, there's peace and solace.
Dana Bark ceremonies let you go somewhere where you can actually just let down all your barriers. You're around people who understand the depth of your grief and the isolation you've been in. They're a new family that you have such shared experiences with, and you can relate to them on such a different level.
We're gathering at the place near the water where all our children or loved ones took their lives.
Dana is a fire, he's a fire artist at Burning Man, and I've had the pleasure myself of helping him build those, some of those bridges and seeing them burn, which is a kind of, you know, the idea of seeing the Golden Gate Bridge is a hyperbolic solution to the problem. Let's just get rid of the Golden Gate Bridge, which of course is not feasible nor desirable or possible in any way, shape, or form.
That's what the ceremonies are about. They're about us getting together and being able to say whatever we want about this loss without anybody looking at us like in some kind of way.
when the net goes up, there will be a universal sigh of relief that people will not die at this site anymore. And I know a lot of the families have invested emotionally in this, but it would be a nice closure for everybody involved. They'd be very glad to see the end of this.
Until that barrier is built, there will be every 10 days, the 40-year average, another family, another circle of friends and acquaintances that are shocked. The pain will always be there. You can always go back to that. But there comes a time when you have to allow yourself to live fully again.